Most people see Dumbledore as Harry's protector, but if you look at what actually happened, Dumbledore knew Harry might have to die, and instead of trying to free Harry from that fate, he spent years shaping him into someone who would accept it. Was it the only way to save the world? Or did Dumbledore design a life of suffering because it was the easiest way? Was there ever really a choice? In 1981, the world thinks the war is over, but Dumbledore is already thinking several moves ahead. Dumbledore does not know the full truth yet. He does not know about the Horcruxes and whether Voldemort survived, but he has enough reason to suspect this may not be over. He doesn't know Harry will have to face him or die. He's guessing, and that's where it starts. Based on suspicion, Dumbledore makes his first brutal decision. He chooses the Dursleys.
They're the worst sort of muggles imaginable.
Harry is sent there officially for protection. From whom? From Voldemort, who everyone believes is gone.
The boy survives.
Doesn't need protection. The Dark Lord is gone.
The Dark Lord will return.
But fine, better safe than sorry. Blood relatives, old magic. That part at least makes sense.
They really are.
The only family he has.
What doesn't make sense is everything else. Because Harry doesn't just grow up hidden or not treated like a hero.
He's far better off growing up away from all of that.
He grows up abused. How does living in a cupboard and being bullied and starved help, exactly? Has Dumbledore ever checked how his precious Harry was doing? Because if he did not, that is pure neglect. If he did, that's even worse. That means he saw it all and did nothing. The worst part is that the Dursleys are terrified of magic.
There's no such thing as magic.
If Dumbledore came once and said, "Treat him properly, I'm watching," they would obey. Not love Harry, but behave at least. It would take him 5 minutes. He never does it. Was he just too busy to care? Maybe. But there's a worse possibility. Maybe this was intentional. Maybe it was his strange way to create a humble hero who would die for others. If so, that's pretty twisted logic. Because abuse usually doesn't create humble heroes. It creates people who want to hurt back. That's how you risk creating another Voldemort. If the Dursleys were an isolated mistake, we could call it neglect. But this is just the beginning. Once Harry hits 11, it gets even worse. Have you ever tried counting how many times Harry could have died in his first years at Hogwarts? I lost my count somewhere around the Chamber of Secrets. Hogwarts is supposed to be the safest place for Harry. And yet in 2 years, he faces Voldemort, a troll, a 3-headed dog, giant spiders, and a basilisk. At some point, bad luck stops being an explanation. This isn't raising a student. It's stress testing a weapon. Harry learns one thing. When adults hesitate, he steps in. At this point, Dumbledore doesn't even know about the Horcruxes. All he has is assumptions. A child's life is being risked over and over again. Until now, it still could be called neglect or coincidence. Goblet of Fire is where things get out of control. Harry's name comes out of the goblet. Somebody powerful interfered with ancient magic.
I haven't a clue who put your name in that goblet, Harry, but whoever did is no friend to you.
Again, there was a choice.
Put an end to it. Don't let Potter compete.
Stop the process, protect Harry, and investigate. Or let it continue.
Perhaps we should let them unfold.
Watch what happens, and maybe learn who is behind it. Using Harry as bait, of course, and Dumbledore chooses the second one.
I agree with Severus.
At this point, it's so obvious that even McGonagall says,
Offer him up as bait. Potter is a boy, not a piece of meat.
the official explanation is the magical contract. But what exactly was going to happen if Harry refused? Would the goblet sue him? Make him pay a penalty? The story never proves there was no other option. Not to mention the goblet was already fooled once. Now it becomes clear that Harry's safety is not the priority. Was it necessary? Or just the easiest option? Because the result is catastrophic. Cedric dies. Voldemort comes back. Dumbledore clearly screwed this. If you think that after this failure Dumbledore would change his strategy, you are right, he does. But not in a way we would expect. So we get to Order of the Phoenix. Harry is falling apart. He's got visions, intrusive thoughts. He feels angry all the time.
I just feel so angry.
He feels like he's losing his mind. And Dumbledore? He knows exactly what's happening. He realizes Voldemort might be able to peek through Harry's eyes, even possess him. And what does he do? He hides from Harry. From Dumbledore's perspective, staying away is protection. But look at it from Harry's side. He just saw a friend murdered. He feels something wrong is going on with him. And the only person who has all the answers leaves him alone.
Look at me!
The only thing Dumbledore does is ask Snape to train Harry. But Snape is Snape. Instead of calmly guiding Harry through it, he adds his own traumas and problems and only makes things worse. Dumbledore's silence created the perfect opening for Voldemort. With no one to advise him, Harry falls for the trap.
Harry, are you sure?
I saw it. It's just like with Mr. Weasley.
He rushes to the Ministry to save Sirius, and Sirius dies. Harry loses the only family he had. Now sure, Voldemort pulled the trigger, but Dumbledore, he built the room where it happened. Later, Dumbledore actually apologizes.
I thought by distancing myself from you, as I have done all year, you'd be less tempted, and therefore you might be more protected.
But admitting a mistake doesn't change anything. The strategy is already costing too much. You think Harry deserves a little break from all this? Dumbledore doesn't think so. By now, Harry has suffered enough for 10 lifetimes. If Dumbledore wanted to let him just be a kid for 5 minutes, this was the time. Instead, he puts him to work. Look at Slughorn. Dumbledore doesn't just ask Harry for help. He weaponizes Harry's fame and his tragic past to bait a lonely old man.
Professor Slughorn is going to try to collect you, Harry. You would be his crowning jewel.
Harry is put in a terrible position.
Dumbledore's asked me to get to know him. Get to know him? I don't know.
He has to manipulate an adult to get a memory Dumbledore needs. The problem is not that Harry helps. The problem is how natural it has become. Dumbledore needs something dangerous or emotionally dirty done, and somehow Harry is the tool again. But then things became even worse. Of course, Dumbledore isn't just sitting back throwing Harry here and there. He did the heavy lifting. He tracked the Horcruxes, he found the ring, he even took the curse that's currently killing him. But then, he takes Harry into that cave. Dumbledore could have taken a trained Order member, someone who actually understood the war. Instead, he takes Harry. Most likely, the cave is a demonstration. Dumbledore knows he's dying. He knows he won't be there to hold Harry's hand much longer. So he wants to show what it's like to look for Horcruxes and fight Voldemort. Did Harry really need to be there and see all that horror? But the worst is yet to come. The final sacrifice. By the end, Dumbledore knows Harry is a Horcrux. He knows the only way to destroy the piece of Voldemort inside Harry is for Harry to die. You'd finally expect a moment of truth, but the truth is locked away until the very last second. Doesn't Harry deserve to know it? Even Snape says it out loud.
You've been raising him like a pig for slaughter.
And look at Dumbledore's response. He doesn't deny it. He doesn't get defensive.
Don't tell me now that you've grown to care for the boy.
Maybe Dumbledore does not tell Harry early because early truth gives Harry time to resist, panic, bargain, or hate him. Late truth gives Harry only one path: walk into the forest. It's not necessarily evil. It might just be brutal optimization. But wasn't it way too brutal? So this is where it all lands. The plan works. Voldemort falls. Harry lives. Because the ending is a triumph. We don't usually question the method, but Dumbledore remains the great mystery of the story. Dumbledore saved the world. I don't deny that. But he saved it by turning one abused child into the kind of person who would willingly walk to his death. Maybe every softer path ended with Voldemort winning, but the question remains. Did Harry choose sacrifice freely, or did Dumbledore spend 7 years building a boy who could choose nothing else? So, I'll leave it to you. If you were sitting in that office, and you knew that the only way to save everyone was to treat one boy like a variable in an equation, what would you have done? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe.